Hey guys, how are you today? So today our topic is related EXD panel versus EXE panel. So we'll start.
What is life to offer me tonight? Grow. What's not supposed to be on the biting cold? This is the basic. This is the basic. Yes. Enjoy, and what's still inside.
So first, what is an EXD flame proof enclosure? So you can see the photos. You can see the photo here. This is our enclosure. This is EXD type of our enclosure. So EXD is a flame proof equipment. That's usually we're using offshore oil and gas platform, and sometimes you're using onshore as long as that oil and gas activities are there. So, or else petrochemical plants. So this is a critical during the design stage. You need to understand for those who are in the design, they need to understand the specifications of the company and what kind of the equipment and enclosure and the flame prop that we are using. So, okay, understand the directive of our certifications, and this is the important thing that we need to know that you are the designer. So the primary function of an EXD enclosure is to prevent the propagation of an external explosion to the surrounding explosive atmosphere and protecting the internal components from the environment, humidity, dirt, and dust and water. That's why this is the important because you are in the surrounding with the source of uh, ignition. There's a carbon, so there's a gas leak, for example, and then there's a spark of your equipment electrical. Usually we are preparing the enclosure of the equipment that's mainly for our electrical. So XD type, that's why we have also IP washer, etc. Okay, so the EXD type of protection explosion proof joints, this is our joints, this is our flame fat, this is our joint, this is we have a uh, bolt here. Okay, so basic aspect protections offered by equipment or an explosion proof. Okay, so this is the example. So what is EXE flame proof enclosure? Have you seen this? This this is our EXE explosion proof enclosure. So you can see many enclosures in our project and also maybe in your project as well. You can see EXE flame proof enclosure. So EXE protection refers enhanced safety or reinforced construction is one of the most popular protections used of the devices or the oil and gas hazardous area. So EXE protection is intended for use in hazardous areas, Zone 1 and Zone 2, etc. Atmosphere generates by present flammable gases. Okay, so we need to understand this, especially you are a designer, as what I said earlier. So explosion-proof protection type EXE is defined by the international standard. So international standard IEC 679-7. So XX enclosures, also known as increased safety enclosures, are typically the cheaper option, while EXD enclosures are offer additional safeguard of containing any flames. That's why EXD type enclosure is expensive rather than EXE. Okay, that's why it depends of the budget of our project, and if we are identifying the area classifications, so that's the time the designer, the engineer need to understand the scope and which equipment that we are going to buy or to purchase. So EXE enclosures are easier and safer to access than EXD terminals. As you can see, of course, easy to terminate, easy to access, and anytime you can open the door. You can see here, just only lock, then you can open easily. Okay, unless you EXD, you need to open the bolt. So it takes times to open the door. So that's why EXE enclosure are easier. Okay. So what is the EXE protection all about? So you can see here, this is our EXE, then this is our EXD. Using explosion-proof cables and also EXE or EXD glands that may be used in the EXE enclosure. So reducing the risk of enclosure damage through appropriate material. So that's why we need to identify based on our cable schedule, based on our drawing, designer preparing this drawing, preparing the materials that which is utilized to our EXD and EXE enclosure type. So EXE protection concept involves reducing the likelihood of ignition source, temperature, sparks, electric arcs, which is inside in the panel, let's say, okay, occurring on both devices, enclosure surface, and inside it. This task is primarily accomplished by this ensuring that temperature on the surface of components mounted inside the device on the device. So enclosures does not exceed the ignition temperature explosive atmosphere. This must be confirmed through thermal calculation consider. That's why guys, when you are attending FAT activities and also all of this EXE and EXD and also the cables and all of these equipment devices part of this enclosure that needs to be tested. So that's why we need to identify the gland that we are using, the cables that what utilizing in this equipment. So we have the flame retardant, fire resistant cables that we need to use. Okay, this is a critical thing in considering if you are the designer. So reducing the risk of electric arcs, sparking temperature by ensuring secure electric connections. So grounding properly selected electrical insulations materials. All right. So wherever you are involved in oil and gas, so always remember that priority is our earthing and safety of our persons and also of our equipment and environment. So that's why the body of the like any institutions, they are creating and preparing and producing the most important what is the safe work and safe equipment that we are using in oil and gas industry. All right. So what is all about the hazardous area? So the hazardous area, as you can see here, I just want to show you that some of that explanation. Zone 0, Zone 1, and Zone 2. Okay. What is EXE certification? Explosive atmosphere. What is EXIA? EXED. What is a zone area classification? If you are in the oil and gas industry, if you are involved in the design, you know very well what is the area classification. So first thing first, that you need to prepare area classification drawing so that you can identify which equipment that you are utilizing at that in all phase of your project. Okay, AXE devices are only available in G, V, and GC versions, meaning they are intended for use in hazardous areas, Zone 1 and Zone 2, by gases and vapors. So Zone 0, and then this Zone 0, that's some of that it's European, and then is using of that's Zone 20, 21, 22. When I was in Aramco project, we're using this, okay, 20, 21, and 22, the hazardous area. And that is the same zone 0, division 1, division 2, division 3. That's part of the same classification, but intended by American standard or European standard. So this is some of the example, guys, for area classifications. As you can see, EXE devices often compete with EXD devices. Each of these solutions has its advantages. So of course, it depends of the equipment. So EXE is a little bit lower price in terms of the market, and then EXD is a little bit expensive. And this is our area classification example. So by this zone, zone 2, and this is zone 1, and this is a zone 0. So by categorizations of our zoning, you can identify which equipment and which enclosure that you need to use in all projects. So this is an example of EXD enclosure examples, guys. Explosion proof, EXD, and then this area is EXE executions. And it's very clear. This is EXD and this is EXE. You can see that below the bottom of that EXD, that is our fittings. So which fitting you need to seal for the executions, and you need to fill any type of put silicone to seal in this area. Okay, see. So also the cable, what kind of cables that you are using? Cable gland EXD. Okay, armor cable. All right, barrier cable gland. So remember, if you buy this, if you purchase this GB or junction box or panel, manufacturer providing all of the requirements if you purchase this. Okay, the cable gland, they are the one provide blind plug, and also some of the resin of this equipment. Okay, and this is the example as I show you. This is our project. This is the photos that I taken in our project. This is our EXD, and then this is our E EXE. The same EXD. All right, EXD. So you can see here, this is the rubber, and this is our flame pot. So when you hand over this to our commissioning, our operations, this area should have a grease. Okay, that is approved grease that is recommended by the vendors. Okay, so this rubber, this is very critical. Don't tear it up. This is throughout the area. You need to provide the rubber. That is our protection. And also here, another, see, closer photos about this in our EXD panel, XDJB enclosure. So this is our rubber. So this is our, you can see there's a groove here. When you remove this, you need to replace. Ask the vendor to replace it if this will be damaged. Okay, and you can see there's no grease at all. You provide grease. You can see in this area, there's a bolt. So all bolts should be sealed in order that there's no any spark inside of this enclosure. It will not be uh, released. It Okay, see this example of our EXD. Now you can see here, this is our EXD. Now you can see in this area, this is our EXE. This is our EXD type. So EXD and EXE. You can see the previous snapshot slides that I shared. This is the actual. Same example, but that is not the one, the correct one. This is only a sample. So EXE enclosure examples, as you can see, this is totally different because you can see the enclosure of this is very thin, not like EXD. It's thick, it's very big and also solid. And you can see the materials. You can see by materials, you can identify that EXE enclosure and EXD enclosure by seeing itself. All right. So Thank you. And for those so new in this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe my YouTube channel. And have a nice day. See you in my next videos to be uploaded. Bye bye.